The fourth rock from the Sun, Mars has long captured both popular imagination and scientific interest. For decades, robots exploring the red planet have been beaming back pictures of a strange world full of breathtaking beauty. With mountains 3 times higher than Everest and canyons 5 times longer than the Grand Canyon, Mars is an adventure traveler's paradise. And with its dusty atmosphere, polar caps that change with the seasons, and roughly 24-hour days, Mars is Earth-like enough to beckon human visitors. We know a lot about the red planet after 4 decades of exploration. But some big questions remain unanswered. As NASA's next big mission, the InSight lander, prepares to touch down in late November, take a look at some of the biggest mysteries about Mars yet to be solved, including some things we may never know until humans set foot on Martian soil. Number 1. Does liquid water flow on Mars today? The Martian atmosphere today is so cold and thin that liquid water on the surface should either evaporate or freeze into the soil. For over 4 decades, though, Mars spacecraft have snapped photos of what look like hundreds of dried-up river channels and canyons that may have been carved by fast-flowing water in the distant past. So where did all the water go? Scientists think these eroded features could be left over from a time when Mars was warmer and wetter, and that some of it may still be locked underground as ice or even deep liquid reservoirs. Orbiters looking down on Mars have shown large amounts of water ice frozen at the planet's poles. In 2015, images from NASA's Mars Reconnaissance Orbiter showed strong evidence that liquid water may flow intermittently on the modern Martian surface. Based on the orbiter's data, researchers identified the chemical fingerprints of hydrated minerals on many steep crater slopes where mysterious darkish streaks have been previously spotted. It's possible that briny Mars water flows on these hills during warm seasons and fades away when it gets cold. But without closer examination, it's been hard to say for sure whether these recurring features are indeed being made by water or by simple flows of dry dirt. Meanwhile, Europe's Mars Express orbiter used ground-penetrating radar to discover signs of a 12-mile-long lake under the planet's south polar ice cap. Scientists believe that the underground lake can stay liquid because of its concentrated briny nature. Mars may have many such large water reservoirs scattered across its polar regions, the scientists suggest. Finding them and figuring out how to access their bounty could be critical for potential human explorers visiting Mars in the future. Number 2. Why is the northern hemisphere smooth and the southern hemisphere heavily cratered? In the 1970s, NASA's Viking missions made the first complete survey of the topography of Mars. Since then, scientists have been puzzling over why the planet has 2 faces. The northern hemisphere is much flatter and lies lower than the heavily cratered highlands of the southern hemisphere, with a difference in elevation of between 3 and 5 miles. Theories have suggested that internal geological process, like heat convection in the mantle, could have formed Mars' present-day features. It's also possible that the planet's northern half was worn down over time thanks to a vast ocean filling this global basin. Other studies, however, have come up with a more violent hypothesis for this bizarre dichotomy. Perhaps a large asteroid the size of Earth's moon smashed into the planet's south pole 3.9 billion years ago. Such a devastating impact would have been a defining moment on Mars, churning up a magma ocean that gave rise to the red planet's volcanism, which in turn might have spewed the material that created the southern highlands. Figuring out this aspect of the red planet's past could help scientists better understand where future explorers may want to land to find the best resources for establishing a sustained human presence.